Hello everyone. In today's Command vs. DCS, we're going to be looking at the F-14B Tomcat. Now the F-14B is a really incredible aircraft. It's a two-seater. It was designed kind of as the original Missileer. If you want to go way back, basically F-111, it's kind of the carrier version of it. Very large aircraft, very capable, and it packs an incredibly long range set of weapons. Speaking of which, I'm actually going to go scoot over here and change my weapons release authorization real fast, because those weapons are wonderful, and they're also a wonderful waste of time if you fire them at the wrong range. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and say the automatic engagement range, it does not exceed 50. This is one of those things that when we get over into DCS, it's going to be kind of a big deal. I really would prefer if you did not launch this at a helicopter and use your gun, but you know, sometimes that happens, sometimes. All right, just double checking. Okay, that's what I want. Okay, so here's our scenario basically. We have a small carrier action group, not talking small. We basically have the Carl Vincent, we have the Oliver Hazard Perry, and bring up the rear, we have the Ticonderoga baseline. All three of these particular ships are available in DCS, so we'll be able to do a pretty similar situation. So our radar is identified, I think it's an A50. Yeah, it's an A50. Parked up here, probably keeping an eye on us. I'm at a very long distance. You can take a look at that really quickly yourself. And basically it's providing guidance for a small group of multi-role fighters to try to take a run at the carrier. We're going to go at this relatively blind. We have no idea when the aircraft are going to get launched. We're just going to rely on our early warning sensors and then launch the F-14 to really see what the aircraft is capable of. Then over in DCS, we'll try to recreate the same scenario. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up time a little bit here. Pause. Looks like we've got some unidentified aircraft. We're going to go ahead and send our F-14 to go take a look. Apparently these guys have all decided to go ahead and launch on their own. I'd actually prefer if you just give me the one. Launch individually. Okay, in just a moment he'll be up in the air. So we caught those guys a pretty long distance. It's 131 miles away. That's pretty good. Pause. Our F-14 is just taken off. And you can see it is climbing like a rocket, which is kind of what I expect the F-14 to do. So we've already gone ahead and identified these targets over here as hostile. I'm not actually sure how we were able to identify those so quickly. Man, this technology is good stuff. Ah, that's what it was. There must be some non-cooperative target recognition on there. So anyway, we've told our F-14 to go check things out. Obviously, we're in range of the Phoenix now. If we did not modify the maximum launch range, he'd go and do something really stupid like fire them at this range, and none of them would hit. So I'm actually going to manually engage the targets here because I know how this game is played. So let's do one for you, one for you, one for you, and one for you. Okay. So in DCS, I have a feeling we're going to have to be bouncing back between the back seat and the front seat, trying to figure out the geometry of this scenario. And I would not be surprised if we have a really tough time engaging something of that size. At that altitude, it's not going to be too much trouble to do. But if we were to do this at low altitude, say like 5,000 or 6,000 feet, we probably would never be able to hit those guys with the Phoenixes, at least in the context of DCS. All right, we've just launched. What range are we? Oh, that's much too far. Oh, that's going to end badly. So you don't want to be launching Phoenixes at ranges like that. If you were to do something like that, you're going to have terrible times actually hitting them because the missiles will run out of energy. And in command, of course, they're also going to run out of energy. So it looks like the F-14 here is going to be relying on his Sparrows and his Sidewinders to do the deed in the end, which is okay because, again, it's a good measurement of that particular aircraft. All right, they're on their way there. I have a feeling 1 out of the 4 will probably get a kill. We'll find out. They're breaking up. Slow down time. Let's watch what happens. Looks like we got 1. And maybe 2. I'm actually extremely impressed. If this were DCS, it probably would have been worse. Well, at that altitude, it might be doable, but we'll kind of find out as we go. So now the F-14, unfortunately, is going to have to do this the hard way, which, you know, it's kind of fun. I'll speed up time a little bit here. Now, this is interesting. I wonder if both of these are going for the same target, because they didn't think... Oh, those came off the carrier group. Whoopsies. Well, that's a possibility, too, in the scenario. We'll have to kind of see how things play out. I have a feeling these guys will hit the deck as soon as they detect that they're being engaged. Yeah, that guy's toast. No, he's fine. But it looks like our F-14 buddy is going to do the deed anyway. I wonder if that second one's going to connect. Let's find out. Yeah, we'll follow it in. No, which means these guys are going to be... Yep, they're going to be firing again. Meanwhile, that poor F-14's like, don't hit me. I want to have some of the fun. All right, he's coming back around. He's probably going to be launching a Sparrow in a moment. At least that'd be my expectation. Anything can happen. All right, he's co-altitude. You're more than close enough. What are you waiting for? Ah, there it is. There's the Sparrow. I hate Sparrows so much. If you've seen any of my other videos, you probably heard me rant about these things. They're only effective at about a distance between 0 and 10 feet. Not going to happen. Use the Sidewinders. Don't even bother with the Sparrow. Meanwhile, I was going to say, those rims that were launched a minute ago are probably going to get here soon. Notice both Sparrows failed. That's completely realistic, and that's what will happen in DCS. Meanwhile, our F-14 buddy is probably switching over to his Sidewinders, which I highly recommend. Okay, I hope there goes one. Yeah, that's going to be a hit. Nice. Well done. He's coming down in the next one. Of course, meanwhile, these two are going, where's my target? Can he get it? Oh, there it goes. Ooh, that wasn't a good shot. It's either going to go down to the destroyer doing the deed or the cannon on the F-14 doing the deed. I am terrible with the cannon on the F-14. There's just something about it. Whoop, he hit it once. He's doing a pretty good job here, actually. Unfortunately, those rims are going to finish the job here. I should have disabled them, I think. But at least it's a realistic scenario. Ooh, that's sketchy. Whoops. I've done that before in DCS a few times. He's lucky he didn't get an R60 up the tailpipe for that. And here comes the rim. Missed. This is interesting. This is turning out to be quite the dogfight versus this poor guy. I think he got dinged up pretty bad, so he's probably trying to go home. Stay with him. I would have taken that shot and I would have missed that shot. Is how that would have gone in DCS. And let's see what happens here. Speed up time a little bit, and it's over. Okay, so end result here. Let's go ahead and close that and look at our losses and expenditures. You can see we went through 700 rounds of our M61. You can see we went through 4 Phoenixes, 4 Sparrows, 4 Sidewinders, and 5 Rim 66s. They lost everybody, and they never got a shot off. All right, let's find out what happens in DCS. All right, here we are in the lovely, lovely F-14 sitting here in DCS. At the moment, we're just have taken off from the carrier. You can see it kind of sitting back there. I've left labels on today to kind of make it a little bit easier as far as to simulate the data link / what the carrier would be talking to us about the entire flight, because the data link itself, it's decent. But anyway, let's go ahead and get ourselves up to full power and climb the sucker up to some slightly better altitude. If you remember in our little command situation, basically there was a group of MiG-27s trying to make an attack on our carrier, so we're going to go ahead and climb ourselves up and see if we can find them. Now this aircraft has a spectacular radar on board. It's just a little bit complicated to operate, so we'll kind of have to see how things kind of play out. Now as far as the modeling on this F-14 goes, this is probably one of the best ones I've ever seen in DCS. The details are good, the handling is very, very good. I'm trying to hear what he just said. The handling is extremely good, just absolutely everything. It runs beautifully well in VR. And as far as an aircraft goes, I find myself using this thing quite a bit just because it works great in VR and it's just very versatile. They did a really, really nice job. Much better, by the way, if you have somebody who's human in the back seat than that guy back there. He does a pretty decent job of it. It's just little things come up from time to time, as you could probably imagine. Anyway, up we go. Speaking of that guy in the back seat.
Roger.
Pull the nose up a little. I cannot believe how fast this thing can climb. You know, it's not an F-15 or anything, but still, it's incredible. Bring ourselves up to, let's see, just about 30,000 feet. Alright, that'll do it. Nothing like negative G's to make your day. Alrighty, this feels pretty comfortable. Start working on my trim. It takes a little bit of trimming practice, especially when you start transitioning with those wings. Alright, that looks pretty good right there. Okie doke. I'm going to go take a peek in the back seat in just a second, but first I'm going to go and flip on the on. We don't even need to do that. We can just go. So one of the cool things with VR with this particular aircraft is this monitor is huge. Like it looks like this little tiny little circle on your screen, but the reality is this thing is like a TV that just sort of sits in your lap. So anyway, let's see what we got here. We'll do a PD search. See what we can find. Get nothing on the Doppler just yet. What am I at, 200? Oh, I knew it. I knew it. Switch to range wall scan. I just picked something up for a second there. Let me change. No, I'm already pretty wide. I'm going to go all the way. Nah, unnecessary. Go to 20. I knew I saw something. No, there it is. I knew I just had it. Got you. Hello, hello. What have we here? Now go ahead and flip that into narrow. It's wishful thinking. But it was worth a shot, right? So it's a range of 84 nautical miles, so we're not going to do much with that. Let's go flip over to TWS. And we can already spot our invaders. Yep, there they are, right there on our right. Interesting, very interesting. Let's do a relative heading, bring us to the right 10 degrees. It's about 100 nautical miles out. Let's take a look at... Yeah, this isn't too bad. We can work with this. I'm actually going to reduce my bars here. I think I had it right the first time. Can I do it with 1 bar? Nah, it was better with 2 bars. Interesting. That's not quite accurate. Let's flip that mode on. Excuse me, I'm not talking so much here because I'm just trying to study what I'm seeing. Interesting. Alrighty. These guys really heading in that direction? There's no way they could be moving that fast, which tells me that's a missile, maybe? Look at that! What am I looking at? What is that? I'm confused. So we have a no attack warning right there. This is probably some form of jamming, maybe? Let me shut the datalink data off real quick. Interesting. Okay, now this makes more sense. So these are actually my guys. So let me go ahead and mark them as hostile. Let me grab this one also. Mark this one also as hostile. And he disappeared off the map. Just trying to think. This is quite a project here. I try to keep him somewhat in front of me. There he is. Alright, that's pretty good. What do we have for a range here? It's 41 nautical miles is more than... Well, about 40 nautical miles is more than enough to engage. Oh, I'm having a real tough time seeing those guys. That is definitely engageable. Let's go up front.
There's a bandit guerrilla group bearing 095, 41 miles.
Alright, let's take a look. Looks like we've got... No, I keep losing it. What is the guy's altitude? We need to lose some altitude ourselves. Set altitude. Take us down to Angels. Excuse me. Yeah, we lost them. And this is very... There he is again. Actually, let's go back to range wall scan. Bring up the azimuth a little bit. Data link on. 16,000. No wonder we can't get it. Going up front. They must have lost some altitude. One of the toughest things about these older radars is it's very difficult to detect things that are underneath you. Those of you familiar with the Gulf of Sidra incident would know that the F-14s that were in that engagement had to go significantly low in order to reliably track the enemy MiG-21s, or MiG-23s I should say, which is interesting because this is exactly what's happening to us right now. Let's try to get myself lined up here. I think that should be more... I'm trying to get myself a decent shot here. Are we good enough? Can't see. This is very difficult to do with back and forth, as you probably noticed. That's in range, right? Or are those datalink targets? Those are datalink targets. It's at 16,000. And a surprise, surprise, there's our targets right above us.
Bandit, MiG-23, 12 o'clock, 5 miles. 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
Alright, we're gonna have to come up behind these guys.
2 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Ah, no can do. We're on a 6. You have him now.
Well, this is one way to do this, I guess. Do some yo-yos real quick. Because I don't want to get slower than the guy next to me.
3 o'clock. You have him now.
Okay, I need you to lock onto him now.
Oh, he's dead now. Roger, okay. I have a lock. All right, switching to PSTT.
Not exactly what I would consider my most amazing moment here, but I guess I'll take it if these guys aren't going to maneuver. Might as well just switch to the Sidewinder and do this the old-fashioned way. So yes, hopefully this is a lesson for those of you who are interested in the performance of this particular aircraft in a single-player situation.
Okay. We're on a 6. Shiny and chrome. Roger. No, sir, unable.
What do you mean you're unable? He's right in front of me.
Unable.
What do you mean unable?
There he is on our 12.
Looks like they're making this interesting for us.
Good flying. We're on a 6.
Come on. Yeah. You gotta time it perfectly.
He's dead
How
ahead. Dead ahead. Closing.
That'll do it.
Splash. Got him.
Alright, let's go get the next one.
Yours. We're on a 6. Shoot him. He's right there.
That was probably too far. Let's use a Sparrow.
We're on a 6.
We did it. That was terrible. Oh, that was embarrassing. Okay, so hopefully that helps everybody out as far as realizing the capabilities. Again, it's very difficult to operate the radar at the same time as successfully operate the front half of the plane. But that being said, with a more competent RIO than what I am, you probably would have had an easier time of locking those guys up and engaging them with Sparrows. Again, remember, the Phoenix was designed to basically engage things like Tupolev 22s at 100 miles, not enemy fighters traveling at very, very low altitude. So anyway, hopefully you found this video interesting. Again, that was pretty embarrassing on my part, but like I said, we're looking for an interesting comparison between the two experiences, and I think you saw a pretty good comparison there. Enjoy.